This is how my granny showed me how to get red velvet cake super red. We're going to start with the dry ingredients to make this cake. So the first thing you want to do is to sift 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Sifting, I promise, is worth it. I know a lot of folks skip that step, but if you want a light and fluffy cake, that's what you need to do. Then we're going to add in a teaspoon of baking soda, followed by a teaspoon of cocoa. Yes, red velvet cake does have cocoa in it. So you're going to mix that all together until it's all blended in, just to make sure all those ingredients are incorporated well. And then from here, we are going to make this red dye. Okay, so you're going to start with 1.5 cups of canola oil, and then you're also going to do a teaspoon of vinegar, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 ounce bottle of red food coloring. I know it's crazy, oil and vinegar doesn't mix, but it works for this one. Check it out. See how it's starting to turn red? Trust me, it's gonna work. So then we're gonna add in 1.5 cup of sugar, followed by 2 eggs, and then we're gonna get that blended so that's all mixed in together. And then once it starts to look like this, we're going to add that red dye mixture to the sugar and the eggs. This is how you get that very, very bright red color for your red velvet. So you're going to slowly just pour that in as it's mixing, and I promise you it's going to work. It's a lifelong trick that we've used and passed down throughout our family, and this is how we make that bright red. I just love how vibrant that red is, and you just wait until after I bake the cake you can see how red this is going to be. Alright, so now we're going to start adding in the flour and the buttermilk, okay? So you've already mixed the flour with all of the other dry ingredients, but here you're going to need 1 cup of buttermilk, okay? Now the trick here is to start with flour and end with flour. So you're going to go a little bit of flour, a little bit of buttermilk, a little bit of flour, a little bit of buttermilk. And the reason for this is because you want to get a good mixture and not dry the batter out as you're mixing it. So you're just going to keep going. A little bit of flour, a little bit of buttermilk, a little bit of flour, a little bit of buttermilk. But the key here though is, like I said, make sure you start with your flour and make sure you end with your flour, okay? So as you can see, it's starting to come together here, but I need to take a few minutes to kind of scrape down the sides, because the mixer doesn't always, get all of the sides, and it'll kind of throw up the ingredients on the side of the bowl. So if you have like a stand mixer, make sure you stop and scrape down your sides so that it's mixed well. Okay, so here I'm going to spray my pans and everything else around it with some Pam to make sure that it doesn't stick. If you have parchment paper or parchment rounds, you can also put that in the bottom of your cake pans. These are 2 8-inch round pans, and I'm going to fill both of these up. And then I'm going to put these in the oven at 350. Usually it takes about 30 minutes for my oven, but make sure you watch it. Sometimes people say it takes 40 minutes. I've never seen it take that long. For me, it's more like 25-30 minutes. So, all ovens are different. Make sure you keep an eye on it as it's baking. Once you get it all in the pans, I like to do a quick couple of slaps on the cabinet to make sure I get those big air bubbles out. And then, like I said, going in the oven 350 for about 30 minutes. Okay, let's make the frosting. You'll need 1 block of cream cheese and 1 stick of butter. I'm going to make sure that that is creamed really, really well. And then we're going to add in 4 cups of confectioner's sugar. And then after that is mixed in well, we're going to go in with 2 tablespoons of sweet cream. I just use coffee creamer for my sweet cream. If you have other preferences, of course, you can use that. But I mean, for me, the coffee creamer just works perfect. I have it on hand all the time because I'm always drinking coffee. So I just use the coffee creamer and it works perfect for me. So 2 tablespoons of whatever sweet cream you prefer, and then you're going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla, and it should come together like this. Now here's why I do my icing, but before I do that, I try to cut the cakes in half so that it's, you know, a little thinner. But I mean, it's up to you. You don't have to do this. This is just an extra step I take. And here you'll see me just kind of slapping it on because I'm just doing a crumb coat right now. So it's not going to look fantastic. As a matter of fact, it's not going to look fantastic at all because I'm just really kind of doing this fast. So you'll see some of the breadcrumbs throughout. And I didn't make a whole lot of frosting. So you'll see that beautiful red, vibrant color coming through for this deliciously moist red velvet cake. Now you know the trick of the trade. This is how you get that bright, bright red color. Look at that moisture. Oh my goodness. Enjoy.